children. We are in a chapter called light in physics, very important chapter for the public examination is concerned. In this chapter I told you what is light, which are the different properties exhibited by the light, like reflection, refraction, dispersion, diffraction, like that many properties are exhibited by the light. In 10th standard, particularly in this lesson, we are going to learn two properties. One is called the reflection, another one is called the refraction. About the reflection, I told you the definition of the reflection, laws of reflection of light. By reflection, we get image. What are the nature of image, what we are going to get, and which are the different types of reflecting surfaces, mirror, different types of mirror, plane mirror, spherical mirror, different types of spherical mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror, how are they different from each other, and terminologies related to the spherical mirrors like aperture of the mirror, pole of the mirror, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal focus and focal length, what is the relationship between principal focus and radius of curvature, all these things are concluded in the previous periods. And then what I told you is, what are the conditions required to form an image in front of the concave mirror and convex mirror, which are the positions we are to place the object. For example, in the case of a concave mirror, 6 positions are identified in front of the mirror. One is at infinity, beyond C, at C, between F and C, and at F and between P and F. Then I told you, while writing the ray diagram, we have to have some conditions in mind. Which are those which are the 4 conditions? One is, any ray which is parallel to the principal axis, any ray which is parallel to the principal axis, after the reflection it has to pass through a point on the principal axis, that is called the principal focus. And second condition is, a ray of light passes to the principal focus and incident to the mirror, after the reflection emerges out as parallel to the principal axis. These two are converses. And a ray of light passes to the center of curvature and falls on the mirror, after the reflection follows the same path. And any ray which incident to the mirror obliquely to the principal axis at the pole of the mirror, it follows what is known as laws of reflection at the point of at the pole of the mirror. And the 4 conditions are there. Out of the 4 conditions, we have to select any 2 conditions to write the ray diagram. There is no hard and fast rule, we have to use these conditions only. We can use any other conditions, but we always follow the conditions followed by the textbook, because we are going to face the public examination. In the public examination, they give more attention to what is there in the textbook. Therefore, we are following. We can select any 2 conditions to write the ray diagram. But I follow the conditions given in the textbook. Now, in the last class, I completed the ray diagram of when the object is placed at infinity, the image is going to form at F, and the image is real, inverted and diminished. For that purpose, I use the condition number 1 twice, because the ray of light is coming from the infinity, therefore we have to select this condition only. And the second ray diagram is when the object is placed beyond C, we are going to get the image between F and C, and the nature of the image is real, inverted and diminished, and we follow the condition number 1 and the condition number 3. We can use any condition number 1 and condition number 2 also we can use. But in the textbook they are given the condition 1 and condition 2 is used to write the ray diagram of the object when it is placed at C. Now we are going for the third one. The third one is when the object is placed at C in the front of a concave mirror. Now I write, where is the object placed? Object is placed at C. Now we have to identify, we have to verify the condition what we written in the chart. The first step, now you have to take your paper, pencil, rubber and geometry box, and you start writing along with me, that is better. The first thing is, mark a point and call that point as C, center of curvature. Take the compass and take the convenient radius. With the C as center, draw an arc. And make this arc as a concave mirror by shading its right side. When you shade the right side, the left side becomes the reflecting surface. Always it is better to keep the reflecting surface facing left side. That is called the Cartesian sign convention. Mn is the aperture. Then identify the midpoint of the mirror. Midpoint of the mirror somewhere here. I call this as P. P stands for pole of the mirror. Then take the scale. Take the scale and join PC and extend to get a straight line. To get a straight line. This is a straight line. Straight line is a line which can be extended on both sides. Straight line. And this line is called the principal axis. Between C and P there is a midpoint. That midpoint is called the principal focus. Principal focus. Now 3 points are there. P, F, C. P stands for pole of the mirror, F stands for the principal focus, C stands for the center of curvature. Now the object is placed. Where the object is placed? Object is placed at C. Now I write an object. See? This arrow I consider as an object. I name the object as AD. Now see, out of the 4 conditions, we have to select 2 conditions. In the textbook they are given the first one and the second one. The ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus. The ray of light passes to the principal focus after the reflection travels parallel to the principal axis. These 2 conditions are used to get the image of the object which is placed at C. First condition I do. The first condition is the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. From the point A, I write a line parallel to the principal axis. See? Parallel to the principal axis. This light ray is parallel to the principal axis. After the reflection, it has to pass to the principal focus. After the reflection, it passes through the principal focus. Principal focus. First condition. A ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus. First condition is over. The second one. A ray of light, I change the color now to distinguish between the condition. A ray of light which passes through the principal focus after the reflection travels or emerges parallel to the principal axis. That condition I am using. Now see, this ray is passing through F. Passing through F and incident on the mirror. Now this is the incident. After the reflection, it has to pass through what is known as parallel to the principal axis. It has to pass through parallel to the principal axis. Yeah, right? Parallel to the principal axis. The ray of light passes to the principal focus after the reflection travels parallel to the principal axis. Now I get the intersection of 2 reflected rays. See, this is the reflected ray and this is the reflected ray. One reflected ray is the ray of light parallel to the principal axis passes to the principal focus. Then this is the reflected ray. Another one is the ray of light which passes to the principal focus emerges out parallel to the principal. Therefore, these 2 rays intersect here. Therefore, I write the object. This is the image. This is the image. This image is A dash, B dash. A dash, B dash. Now you have to understand. When the object is placed at C, image is also formed at C, right? And size of the image is looking same as the size of the object. When you use the correct geometry box according to the actual measurement, you get this. You can even measure the what is known as height of the object and height of the image. That you are going to write in your second PUC. Now it is a schematic representation. When the object is placed at C, image is also formed at C. But we have not taken any proper measurements here, right? And the C is in front of the mirror, therefore it is a real image. Real images are inverted image. Size of the object and the image are same. Therefore, the conclusion is when the object is placed at C, image is also formed at C. The nature of the image is formed in front of the mirror, therefore it is real. And real images are inverted, that is also verified. And size of the image is same as the size of the object, same size. This is a ray diagram, third ray diagram, where the object is placed at C, image is also formed at C. We have used two conditions, where the first condition is ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus, and the ray of light passes to the principal focus, emerges out as parallel to the principal axis. We completed three different places where the object is placed, and we went on the ray diagram. One is at infinity, beyond C, at C. These three are over. To write the ray diagram, we are using four conditions. Conditions are, first one is the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus. The ray of light which passes to the principal focus emerges out parallel to the principal axis. Ray of light passes to the center of curvature after the reflection follows the same path, and ray of light obliquely incident to the principal axis at the pole of the mirror follows the laws of reflection, and laws of reflection is followed by each and every condition. Out of the four conditions, any two conditions we have to use. I am using the condition given in the textbook because we are going to write the public examination, and this is a very important for part of the lesson, because definitely we are going to get marks in this particular area. Therefore, you have to be very careful, right? So now the fourth one, when the object is placed between F and C, we have to get the image beyond the C. This has to be verified. These three are verified. Now we are going to verify the fourth ray diagram. Here, the object is placed between F and C. Object is placed between F and C. Object is placed between F and C. Right? You have to write along with me. Take your paper and start writing. We have to put a mark. We have to mark a point on the principal axis, and we have to call that point as center of curvature. Then take the compass. You have to do along with me. Take the compass with a convenient radius. With the C as center. Draw an arc. Right? Draw an arc by keeping the C as center. Now convert that arc as a concave mirror by shading its right side. By making the left side as what is known as the reflecting surface, and this is the aperture. What is aperture? Aperture is the diameter of the mirror. The reflecting surface is the left side. And here, the midpoint of the mirror is called the pole of the mirror. In 10th standard, we are not going to actually taking the measurements, but in higher classes, we are going to write according to the measurement is concerned. Here we are writing the schematic diagram. Measurements are not that much important, right? Now, and then P is the pole of the mirror. Then join CP and extend by a straight line. Straight line is one which can be extended on both sides infinitely. This is a straight line. Straight line means it can be extended. I can extend it because the image is going to form. We are going to get the image beyond the C. Therefore, it is better to extend beyond the C. You can extend how much or if you want, you can extend. This is the principal axis. And then the midpoint of P and C is the principal focus. Here again I mentioned, we are not going to take the measurements, actual midpoint we are not going to, approximately it is a midpoint, right? And we are not taking that exact measurement of what is known as midpoint of PC. But in higher classes we are going to take this. Now the question is, when the object is placed between F and C, object is placed between F and C. Now I keep the object between F and C. Somewhere here I keep it. Somewhere here I keep it. It is an object. I name the object as AB. AB. Object is placed between F and C. To draw the ray diagram, I have to select any two out of the four conditions. In the textbook, they are given the first condition and the third condition they are used. It is not that we have to use the condition given in the textbook. If you are very intelligent, you can write the ray diagram using other conditions also. But I am emphasizing on the textbook because we are going to write the public examination. Therefore, it is better to follow the textbook. The first condition is ray of light parallel to the principal axis. Now I take ray of light parallel to the principal axis. The ray which is coming from the object parallel to the principal axis. After the reflection, it has to pass through the principal focus. Then I write a ray which is passing through the principal focus. See, a ray which is parallel to the principal axis, after the reflection passes to the principal focus. First condition is over. Now the second condition what is taken is the ray of light which passes to the center of curvature. Now there is a ray, imagine a ray, the ray may be gone like this also and then it forwarded. Therefore, imagine a situation, the ray of light coming from the center of curvature like this. If there any ray is there like this, that ray goes in this direction, falls on the mirror. After falling the mirror, it has to come out. It emerges in the same path. It goes like this and reflects in the same path like this. Now we have to extend because it is not meeting. Therefore, we have to extend this. It is a ray of light. We can extend this. See, I extended. Then I extended the reflected ray of this, what is known as the principal focus. This ray also I extend. Still I don't think so it is going to meet. I should extend further. I extended here. The ray of light parallel to the principal axis, after the reflection passes to the principal focus, it is going like this. The ray of light which is incident to the mirror directing towards the center of curvature, after the reflection follows the same path. See, both intersected here. I extend the principal axis also. Both intersected here. Here I am getting the image. This is the point of intersection of two reflected rays. A dash, B dash. See, the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis, after the reflection passes to the principal focus and it continues like this. The ray of light passes through the center of curvature. From here it may be gone like that. After reflection it follows the same path and crossing the center of curvature and extended. These two are the reflected rays and these two reflected rays are going to intersect here. Therefore I get the image. You can easily understand, very simple it is. The result when the object is placed between F and C, where the image is formed? Image is formed beyond the C. It is formed beyond the C. Image is formed beyond the C. And to understand the nature of the image, very simple it is. Why? Because the image is in the front of the mirror, therefore it should be real. Real images are inverted. That is also verified. Inverted. And by looking only you can understand the mirror is highly enlarged. It is enlarged image. Therefore, the nature of the image is real, inverted and enlarged. I repeat once again. We are in the fourth ray diagram where the object is placed between F and C. This is the C and this is the F. The object is placed between F and C. We have selected two conditions. One condition is the ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes through the principal focus. The second condition what we have selected is the ray of light passes to the center of curvature. Both the reflected rays are going to intersect beyond the C to form an image. The image looks like it is enlarged image. Image is enlarged and it is lies in front of the mirror, therefore it is real. Real images are inverted. That is also verified. Very nice ray diagram of this condition. What is where the object is placed between F and C. Completed 4 ray diagrams where the object is placed at infinity, where an image is formed at F. Object is placed beyond the C, image is formed between F and C. When the object is placed at C, image is also formed at C. When the object is placed between F and C, image is formed beyond the C. When the image goes behind, the image has to be enlarged. Therefore, while writing the ray diagram, you should be very careful because enlarged image should come in your book only. Therefore, you have to arrange it properly. F and C. Now, the fifth condition, fifth position of the object. Image is placed at F. Image is placed at F. Okay, we start that. Fifth one. Here, object is placed at Object is placed at F. Object is placed at F. Image is going to form at infinity, that we are going to verify. First step, what we have to do? We have to mark a point. You have to write along with me. Ray diagrams are very much important. Mark a point on the paper, that is C. C stands for center of curvature. Using the compass with the convenient radius, draw an arc. Draw an arc, right? Make that arc as what is known as concave mirror by shading its right side. By that what happens? The left side becomes the reflecting surface. See, this is shaded part. Now the mirror is made and I name the aperture. Aperture is always named as Mn and the midpoint of the mirror is pole of the mirror. I already told you it is not required to write according to the scale. And join PC to get what is known as the principal axis. Principal axis is there. I join this. Principal axis is a straight line which passes through the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. This is the principal axis. Right. And the midpoint of the PC is called the principal focus. Can even find the midpoint and write. There is no problem in that, but not required for SLC is concerned. Now, this is the condition. This much is must for all ray diagrams. Now, we have to keep the object. Where the object is placed? object is placed at F. Right? I keep the object at F. Object is placed at F. And the object is named as EB. Now, the condition selected is the first one and the third one. Ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after the reflection has to pass through the principal focus. This is the principal focus. The object is placed at F1. And another one is the ray of light what is known as passing through the center of curvature. Both conditions are selected in the textbook. Right. Now, what I do is ray of light parallel to the principal axis. First one. Ray of light parallel to the principal axis. This is parallel. Ray of light parallel to the principal axis. After the reflection passes to the principal focus. After the reflection passes through the principal focus. It travels parallel to the principal focus. Like this. First condition is over. Ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus. The second condition is ray of light passes through the one ray, imagine a ray, from the object goes and meets the mirror. After the reflection it follows the same path of the center of curvature. Therefore, it is somewhat like this. Ray of light from the object went there. It becomes the incident ray. After the reflection, it came and passes through what is known as the center of curvature. Like this. Like this. See, this is the ray of light, incident to the mirror, and went like this. Another ray like this. Now, when you see these two rays correctly, these two rays are parallel rays, parallel, like a railway track. When they are parallel, where parallel lines they are never going to meet. Where they are going to meet? They are going to meet at infinity. We don't know where they are going to meet. Therefore, when the object is placed at F, image is going to form at infinity. We don't know where it is going to meet. Why? Because both the reflected rays are parallel to each other. Parallel lines are not going to meet at all. Therefore, we can assume that the image is going to form at infinity. When the object is placed at F, image is going to form at infinity. That infinite position where the image is going to form, that is in front of the mirror. The rays are moving in front of the mirror. Therefore, it is a real image. Real image means what? Inverted image. Since it is going to fall at very far distance, infinite distance, we consider that as what is known as enlarged image. The image is real because it is in front. Real images are inverted, we know that. And the image is going to form at a very far distance. Therefore, we can consider that this image is an enlarged image. Therefore, the concluding part is, when the object is placed at F, image is going to form at infinity. And the nature of the image is, since it is front of the mirror, it is real. Real images are inverted images, and it is very far away from the image mirror. We can consider this as an enlarged image. This is the fifth condition of the ray diagram. Here we have used two conditions. One is the condition where the ray of light parallel to the principal axis. Another one is the ray of light which is passes through the center of curvature. I repeat once again, we can use other conditions given in the textbook. We can get the same answer, but we always give emphasis to take the condition given in the textbook. We completed 5 different positions. When the object is placed at infinity, object is placed beyond C, object is at F, object is at C, Object is between F and C, object is at F. Now the last ray diagram, when the object is placed between P and F, here we should be very careful because we are going to get the virtual image. All these cases we got the real image. Real image means in front of the mirror. Therefore, by writing the ray diagram for the last one, that is where the image is going to form behind the mirror, there should be a space kept for the image formation behind the mirror. Therefore, while writing in the page, you have to think that there should be a space behind the mirror. Right. Now we start. The condition, the object is placed between P and F. P and F. Now I should get the space behind the mirror. Therefore, I write somewhere here. See, first step is mark a point. Consider that as C. C is what? Center of curvature. Now, you have to write along with me, right? And take the compass, take the convenient radius with the C as center, draw an arc. Writing an arc by keeping the space behind the mirror, right? And make this arc as a concave mirror by shading the right side. This is right side, this is left side. And this is the reflecting surface. This is the aperture. The midpoint of the mirror is pole of the mirror. This is the pole of the mirror. With the help of the scale, join CP and extend. Join CP and extend. This time I am going to extend behind the mirror. Behind the mirror I am going to extend because I am going to get the image behind the mirror. Right? This is P. P stands for pole of the mirror. And what is known as the midpoint of PC is the principal focus. Principal focus. Ready for writing the ray diagram. Now, the object is placed between P and F. P and F means here, somewhere here. Right? I write the object. See, this is the object. This arrow I consider as an object and this is AB. Right. Now see. To write the ray diagram, he selected two conditions. One is the last condition he selected. That is where the ray, because it is already crossed F. Therefore, we have written a ray diagram using C, we have written a ray diagram using F, we have not written any ray diagram using T. Therefore, in the textbook what they did is, the last one, we are using what is known as the last condition. So remember, it is easy. Last one, last condition. Right? Where the ray of light is incident to the principal axis obliquely at the pole of the mirror. After the reflection, it follows the angle, what is known as the law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Therefore, you should be very careful. We are not going to measure the angle, not required, but the angle should be same. Incident angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. The first condition is the ray of light from the object incident to the principal axis obliquely at the pole of the mirror, like this. This is the incident ray. After the reflection, it follows the laws of reflection. Therefore, you should be very careful. Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of what is known as reflection. Here, see like this. These two angles should be same. This angle should be same as this angle. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. I extend this. This is the reflected ray. This is the reflected. It gone like this. right? The second condition what is selected is, the second condition, I can select the second condition, the ray of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection passes to the principal focus. That also I can select. But he selected center of curvature because it acts as a normal. Therefore, ray of light, change the color, ray of light incident to the mirror after the reflection follows the same path if the ray of light is coming from or passing through the center of curvature, like this. See, this is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Now see children, the fun. Here you have to very carefully. These two are the reflected rays. These two rays, when you see these two rays are divergent rays. Divergent rays means they become wider. Since they are divergent rays, they are not going to meet in this side at all. They are not going to meet at all. Therefore, what we do is, we extend these two rays backwards. We are going to extend these two rays backwards to make them to meet at a point. Therefore, I keep the scale like this. This is the reflected ray. I keep the scale like this. I extend backwards. When you extend backwards, write in dotted lines. Write in dotted lines. Because it is virtual. See, this ray is extended backwards. The same way, another reflected ray which is passing through the center of curvature is also extended backwards. Also extended what? Backwards. Two reflected rays are extended backwards. In the backwards, in the behind the mirror, these two rays are going to intersect. Since the front portion is a divergent beam, the behind the focus should be the convergent. Therefore, they are going to intersect at this particular point. Here, I write the intersection of two reflected rays, and this is A dash, this is A dash, B dash. See this? This is AB, this is A dash, B dash. The image is from behind the mirror. Since the image is from behind the mirror, it is virtual. And second thing is, it is erect. It is AB, it is A dash, B dash, erect. And it looks enlarged. It is bigger. Therefore, when the object is placed between P and F, image is formed behind the mirror. Behind the mirror. Right? And the nature of the image is, since it is from the behind the mirror, it is virtual. Virtual images are erect images. It is erect and it is enlarged. This is the last ray diagram given in the textbook. See, there are 6 ray diagrams. All the 6 ray diagrams are important for the public examination is concerned. It is going to fetch you 2 marks or 3 marks. Sometimes they ask you only to write the ray diagram. Sometimes they ask you to write the ray diagram and also write the nature of the image. 3 marks. Therefore, important this. 6 places. At infinity, beyond C, at C, between F and C, at F, and between P and F. Between P and F, we get the virtual image. In all other cases, we are going to get the real image, means in front of the mirror. Real images are always inverted. Virtual images are always erect images. How to write? I gave a practice and you also written, I think so. Right? 4 conditions to be followed while writing the ray diagram. Out of the 4 conditions, any 2 conditions is sufficient to draw a ray diagram by because to get an image, 2 rays are sufficient. Which are the 2 conditions to be selected? Any 2 condition can be selected, but in the textbook they are selected some of the conditions. It is better to practice the condition selected in the textbook. Why? Because we are going to follow, we are going to write the public examination, and it is the important part. By writing, by practicing only, you can get the skill of writing the ray diagram. Therefore, write, again and again write the ray diagram, become expert in writing the ray diagram. Definitely you will score marks in this particular chapter.
Assignment 119 or 119. First question. Draw a ray diagram of the image formation in the case of a concave mirror when object is placed beyond C, and write the nature of the image. All the 5 questions are based on the ray diagram only. Second one. Draw a ray diagram of the image formation in the case of a concave mirror when the object is placed at C, and write the nature of the image. Third one. Draw a ray diagram of the image formation in the case of a concave mirror when the object is placed between F and C. Write the nature of the image. Fourth one. Draw a ray diagram of the image formation in the case of a concave mirror when the object is placed at F, and write the nature of the image. Fifth and the last one is, draw a ray diagram of the image formation in the case of a concave mirror when the object is placed between P and F. Write the nature of the image. All the 5 questions are based on ray diagram. Thank you.